We're looking at some data recorded from a CamTrap array in a fairly remote region of Australia. And on the left we've got the first image in the sequence, and on the right we've got the count versus time profile, and we're only showing images which have been highlighted by megadetector. Now the first thing to observe is that the images are recorded over a very long period of time. The very first one recorded in October 2020, and the last one in April 2022, and some cameras like this one have recorded continuously for nearly a year. Now let's have a look at one particular camera. Let's zoom in and show data from camera 1. You can see that this increases fairly steadily over its period of operation, which goes from the 1st of August 2021 up to sometime in February 2022. And if we look first of all at the steps in the profile where an animal is moved around in front, we can see that here, can't really see it there, but it looks as though we've actually got a marsupial there, a wallaby, fairly small. Here, if we click on this one, same thing, there's a wallaby in amongst the trees. Here, two wallabies fighting, and up here something we don't. Now this is a misidentification. That is definitely not a wallaby. And finally there's the person coming to service the camera. So we're going to review this data by Slideshow as trying to highlight all the groups of detections, and then assign which animals they are would be very time consuming. So we'll go back to the start and start a slideshow, which we can do by selecting from the slideshow menu, start, and you can see that Control P will both start and pause the playing. So we'll start it, and our fingers are poised over Control P in case we see something interesting, and here is something. Now it's been picked up as an unidentified animal because we're using a refining classifier after megadetector, and mostly it gets things right, but not always. But here we've got something which is definitely not a marsupial. Looks as though it's got 4 legs, and yes, this is the species we're interested in, which is a deer. So we'd like to tag, put a deer tag on one of these photos. So we go to presets, and we haven't got anything at the moment, but let's add a deer to the options available. Let's add that, select it, copy and apply, and now that's done. Okay, so let's move on and see where we next encounter a deer. So to restart the slideshow, we'll hit Control P, and away it goes. And oops, we've got another one there. So let's go back and see if we can determine what it is again. Well, this time it's been picked up as a dog, but that is definitely a deer. So if we go to presets, and we'll have that as a deer as well. Copy and apply. And now close it. Okay, let's march forward again. Our finger is resting over Control P to see what we can find. So there are lots of things appearing here, but none of them are the species that we're interested in, which is actually a deer. And you can see that the refining classifier is working fairly well, but not completely reliably. So it often makes mistakes, not identifying animals or identifying them as an incorrect species. So we're still chugging through our 500 images at quite a reasonable rate now. And we should eventually come to another detection of a deer, which is of course one of the species that we're interested in, just going past the fighting wallabies that we saw earlier, or fighting kangaroos. And you can see that animals are also being detected in the dark. The cameras will take an infrared photo when they detect motion when there's not enough light. And there we saw a nighttime picture of a deer. So let's go back again, clicking through till we get to night, and there is definitely a deer. So let's go to presets and tag it, and that's done. And let's march forward again. And let's just go back and have a look there. And this time it has actually correctly identified a deer. Let's just go back and see if the unidentified animal is actually a deer. No, it's not. Let's go forward again. I'm using the right arrow key here. And we've got a deer. So let's go to presets and tag it. March forward again with Control P. So you can see that sometimes the refining classifier does correctly identify the animal, but quite often it misses it. And again, there's something which is shown as unidentified, but that is definitely a deer. Let's just, it's got its head up. And so we'll tag that with presets, deer, and copy to tags. Okay, march forward again. And we've now come to the end of the data for camera 1. Now, in order to produce a report of what we've seen, we'll go to Analysis and Summarize Tags. So, would we like to create a tag summary? Yes, we would. And we're going to scan files which have been made used by CamTrap Pro. And there you can see all the deer detections which we've actually marked. They're spaced in time enough to be separate, and there's been altogether 5 of them, all occurring at quite distinct times. If we want to group them all together over all time periods, there they are. So, and that's an example of how CamTrap Pro can be used for detecting animals of interest where there are a lot of other animals where you're not interested in them.